How's it going, guys? Deansy here, and welcome to a Team of the Season weekly objectives video. So, La Liga Team of the Season has dropped just now, so let's take a little look at the objectives that have set out for us today. So, we've got ourselves a Team of the Season Gaya. That objective isn't terrible. We've had some worse rivals objectives. 6 assists using a defender. It's not ideal, but to be fair, considering some of the Team of the Season cards that have probably come out today, that might be a little bit easier than it seems. I don't know. We'll take a little look into that in a second. We've got Team of the Season Stuani, so that's 20 assists. 20 is a lot. It's going to be frustrating. It's not a horrible one to do, but that's quite a lot. I'm sure it was like 10 for the last, no, it's 14 for last week's one. So again, that's not a terrible one. And we've got Team of the Season Jlajic, 8 single matches. Again, this one, they seem to do this kind of thing every single week. It's not as bad as it seems. There are ways to get around it, so we'll look into each of those. Let's see what other objectives we've got, though. We've got score using UEFA Champions League rare players in 3 separate rivals wins. That gives you a prime goal players pack. 5 assists using the common players of the UEFA Champions League in squad battles. Again, it's not a terrible one. What do you get for that? Does it say a pack? World class. It doesn't actually say what you get for that one, so you just get world class difficulty untradeable. Not sure what that means. I'm sure there's a pack. A rare gold pack for score using UEFA Champions League players in 6 separate matches. So this one would be really easy to do. You could just do this with a friend if you needed to. A lone Godin. So I'm guessing we've got ourselves an end of an era Godin. That one would be quite useful for the assists one if you go around to do that. So if you did, what is it, just professional difficulty? That's not too bad. So if you did go and get yourself this Godin, that's 10 games, you can use a 96 rated Godin. We'll have a little look at that card in a second. And completion, so another 50k pack this week. So let's look at each of the objectives. So you've got Gaya, 6 assists using rivals, using defenders and rivals. So if we just take a quick look at, see where we can see the team this season. There we got it there. So if we just take a little look at the, it's not going to show me, is it? I take a quick look at what's in Team of the Season for, I know it came out at 3 o'clock, so if we just take a little look at the Liga Team of the Season, who have we got for defenders? So we've got TOTS Alba, we've got Piqué, we've got Djené, Hermoso. So not too many defenders, to be honest. We've got Navas. That Navas could be a decent one because he's down to right wing back. So let's take a look at some of these cards. You've got one I probably have a bit of focus on. You want good passing in these players. To be honest, it would probably be that Jesus Navas. So take a look at him. This card's not too bad, so he would be a decent one to pick up. I wonder if there's any on the market at the moment. So there is already some, 300k, 200k. So to be honest, 196k, he's already dipping low. He's one of the lower rated ones. So to be honest, I'd maybe, if you were going to go with a player like this, I'd hold off for a little bit and just kind of see what price he comes down to. A lot of packs going to get open, so I expect he's probably going to go down to about 100k mark, probably even lower, to be honest with you. He's not an ideal player that people would pick up. He's got some great stamina on him. The main one you want to look at is passing, because that's going to be your main bit. I'd probably move him up as a right winger. To be honest, it depends how you want to play it. I remember when I did the Premier League one to get Djené, I think I used my Alexander-Arnold, so used a pretty decent player a lot of time. I think I'd start the game and then I just move him up to cam. If you pick a player that's good enough that could go up to cam, then that's going to be ideal. So if we look at La Liga players, La Liga defenders, we obviously want special, not my club. So concept. So if we just take a look, you also got, like, if you have Sergio Ramos in the club, that would probably be a really good one. Especially if you've got the Team of the Year Ramos, that one would be awesome. Let's take a little look though. So this is that Djené. He, I think, will be another one. I'll put him on the concepts in a second just to have a look at him. Marcelo would be a really decent one. You could just kind of move him up as well. So if you've got Marcelo, that's another pretty good player. Trying to think, Hernandez, yeah, he wouldn't be too bad. So there is quite a few options. There's some higher tier players you could use. Let's have a look at what this Djené's going for. 800k, 600k. Wow, that's, well, I suppose he's a nutty pace centre back, but he is quite he's quite small, isn't he? 5'9". So I probably don't know if he'd really get in my squad, especially for the fact that he doesn't get really good links. So you'd struggle to get him in the squad. So I do think he'll probably dip in price quite a lot. Bear in mind, it's only 10 past 6 now, so 265k is the cheapest we've seen there. So yeah, overall, this objective shouldn't be too bad. I think the main thing I'd suggest doing is just get yourself some La Liga players, move them up in the squad. If you really want to, you can sub them on if they don't suit your squad. So for like me, my issue would be that La Liga players don't really get in this squad unless I had like, say, well, obviously I'd stick a striker in. So let's take a quick look at what La Liga players I've got in my club. I'm sure I bought a couple just in case. So I've got Diego Costa, who would be good, Vas, Lo Celso. So to be honest, it's not a hard thing to do. It's, what was it? It was 6, I think, in Rivals. Now, depending on your division, that objective could be quite annoying. If you're in Division 1, you're going to really struggle. I'm in Division 2. I'll probably end up getting relegated a bit just to try and make this a bit easier on myself. But assist using the Liga defenders, it wouldn't be the worst, especially over the weekend. People are going to be playing Foot Champs. So if you want to get it urgently, you might be right in the week. It's probably going to be a bit more of a grind, but to be fair, 6 wins isn't terrible. It could be a lot. Now this one, 20 assists, wouldn't mind it too much, but world class, that's going to be a bit annoying. At the same time though, there's so many amazing players in the Liga you could use, so even from that team season, just look at some of those players. If you just had any of those high rated ones, it wouldn't be the worst thing to do. Now the best thing I'd say for you to do for squad battles, I've saved some of my games. I had to do this one, this last game here. That was just from my, I think I was completing the Arsenal and Chelsea objective. So that one got used up. I'd recommend saving your most difficult ones to try and get that done ASAP. If you get lucky, so I think this was a bronze squad. So that's kind of like your usual week squad. If you get something like that, you probably get a majority of games in there. If not, then you've got this. However, throughout the weekend, I believe it's like every 4 hours it updates. So I'd make sure you update just to try and get through the easier squads. I wouldn't recommend going into these more difficult games to do that in World Class, because you are just going to struggle. It's going to waste a lot of your time. So if you want to get it quicker, the main thing I'd say is just try and go for your easier games and use them up. Use them wisely. So yeah, that objective won't be too bad. It's just going to be a little bit of grinding, but you've got the whole week. So if you didn't manage to get it this weekend, you've still got the rest of the week to get it. And finally, this one. So much like every week, you're just going to build a squad with it. I'm sure it's going to be the exact same case. You go into a squad. So what I'd normally do is I'd go into my squads. I'd start up an objective squad. So let's do that. Just set up a squad. What I'd do is I build up my squad. Now I've got a lot of coins. I'd maybe pick up some of the team seasons. Alternatively, the other thing you could do is if you make it as low as rated as possible, because of the way that online single matches matchmaking works, if you're going to be matching up against other teams with team of the season players, that's basically down to your rating. So if you're one of those people that doesn't have a lot of coins, doesn't want to spend a lot, then try and get your rating down as little as possible. So what I do is I just chuck a bunch of these players in. I don't really know what I've got in my club to form this whole squad, but essentially I put these players in. I'd fill my bench up with bronzes just to try and get the rating down as low as possible. So we chuck these guys in, and then I just try and kind of like look at what I've got in my club as a couple super subs just to get on, just to make things a lot easier for me. Might be a bit scummy, but if you're really keen to get these players, then I'd do it. So for me, what I'd probably do is I'd stick R9 on the squad. I'd probably stick Havertz in there. Let's see, Ibra, Cruyff. So only 3 of them you really want. So I just look at a couple of these guys. R9's a definite for me. I'd stick Ibra in there because he's a goal scorer as well, and probably either Havertz or Cruyff would go in the squad for me. I'd fill up this whole squad with players. Again, for this one, I wouldn't do it straight away. Like I wouldn't advise, and I won't be doing this immediately. Just for the pure fact. So if we look at some of the Turkish League team of the season cards, most of them they'll probably drop in price quite quickly. But I will just wait, because you find like a lot of them will become really cheap really quick just from people opening packs. So let's look at concepts. So it's low to high, isn't it? Okay, there we go. So I managed to work it. It was been a bit annoying looking through the searches. So we've got some pretty good players here that probably would easily get in the squad. So let's take a look here. 136. He's already 100k. Already under 100k. 80k. So this player, if again, I don't have don't have the coins at the moment, but he's just going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping. Let's look at some of these guys here. So he would be an awesome one to have in the squad. Again, look, only 100k for a 93 rated card that's been out for about 15 minutes. This guy as well. I'd say a majority of these cards are all just going to dip under 100k quite quickly. A lot of them already have. So I'd bide your time a little bit if you want to pick up some of these cards just to make this objective a little bit easier. But yeah, overall, I think these are kind of worth doing. Let's take a look at the actual cards themselves. So if we go into the squad, let's take a look, because I see a lot of the time, I see people saying that they're not going to bother with these objectives. They're quite difficult. There's no point stressing out to get it done. So we've got Gaya, Stuani, and for the life of me, it won't be able to. Who is the other guy? Let's just take a quick look. I see a lot of people saying that these are going to be quite difficult. So yeah, we'll grab him up. A lot of people say that it's not worth grinding out for some of these. I think regardless, if you've got the time, if you aren't busy doing something else, 100% go and grab these players. They can be any use for you. So these are the three guys. So let's take a little look at them. 88 pace, 88 shooting, 8 passing. That is a really decent card. 93 dribbling as well. However, the physical for me is the main bit. He would just get knocked about quite quickly. He doesn't fit the meta for FIFA at all. But some of these stats are pretty decent. Again, for me though, he's probably just going to go into an SBC for me. He would not get into the squad at all. With the caliber of players you've got at the moment, it's just not worth it. But for what I'm saying is, when you do this particular objective, you're going to be playing 6, 7, whatever the amount of online single matches you need to play. As soon as you score 1 goal, your opponent most of the time is going to leave. You might get the majority of people that actually want to play on to try and do it, but majority of the time on the single matches objectives, if you score, your opponent tends to just leave straight away. So for the little amount of time it'll take, maybe take about an hour, maybe 2 hours just to get this one done, an 89 rated for nothing, it's 100% worth it. If you see, like, I've grinded away to do Ronaldo. Players like this is just making that SBC 100% cheaper. So at the moment, I'm working towards Vieira. That card is going to help me a lot, so I'm definitely going to go for that. Stuani, let's take a little look at him. Overall, that card is really decent. If I had a La Liga squad, he'd probably jump in. I don't know if he'd get in over my Ibra, so he wouldn't make it into my squad. But this card is pretty decent. So if you couldn't afford to go out and pay the big money for some of the strikers, that card would actually be quite decent in the squad. Again, for me though, he's probably going to be a bit of SBC food just because I'm working towards these higher players. But if you're someone that's kind of not put as much time into the game and wants to just have a quick little super sub for yourself, that card would probably be pretty decent. Now, Guy is an interesting one just because he's a pacey left back. Again, I don't know, the thing that puts me off a little bit is the strength. He'll probably get knocked off a bit. The players I've got at left back, so you've got that Teles that I got in my player picks, Alexandra, the likes of them. I don't feel like he'll replace them. He's quite small, yeah, 5'8". He just wouldn't, I think, make it into the meta. But again, a 96 pace left back would be pretty decent in some squads. So if you have a La Liga squad, I think he'd make a good addition. Again, for me, to be honest, all these players would probably be SBC food for me. I know it's not great to say, and I hate to put these kind of players in. It's a 91 rated card, an 88 rated card, and 89. The team of seasons, I wouldn't want to throw them away, but for me, they're going to help me out a lot. And for the cost, like at the moment, I've got 59,000 coins. I'll probably grind that up. I'll probably make some more coins through Foot Champs this weekend, but all these cards are going to help me so much more, and they're going to help my overall squad a lot. So I'd highly advise doing them. They're not terrible. The only one that I think is going to be a bit frustrating to do is maybe the Rivals, just for the pure fact that the difference between Rivals and single matches is people will play through Rivals. Even if you're smashing them like 5-0, you will still get the people that come in, they just want to get the points at the end of it. No matter what, if they've lost, they still want those points. So this one's probably going to take a little bit more time, as well as the 20 assists. That could take a while, but at the same time, if you're using players like Messi, Suárez, Dembélé, any real OP La Liga player, you're playing that in squad battles on the easiest squad, I think you'll probably get through that in about 2-3 games, so it shouldn't be terrible to do. And in this play, again, it's really just a matter of just breezing through the games. If you are fortunate enough to have quite a good squad and quite a good club, you'll be able to super sub some players in, and you'll probably get the advantage over some people, which will knock their confidence a bit in game. They'll probably just quit as soon as you score a goal. So overall, I think these objectives aren't too bad. I'll be honest, they're not the most hype players, but at the end of the day, they're free cards. So I'd highly recommend at least trying to have a go for them. Maybe not so much straight away for some people, because it might be a little bit difficult at first. Squad battles, I 100% go. Just do it now, especially over the weekend. You get so many resets, so that one shouldn't be too bad to do. These two, yeah, they're not too bad, but the rivals, it's going to take a bit of time, so that's kind of down to you if you want to. As for the other objectives, I don't know. I'll probably go for them throughout the week. I usually end up saying to myself, I'm not going to bother, but it's free content at the end of the day, and it's always work, because you never know. I think last week I managed to get myself that record breaker Wondolowski, so that was some coins that helped me out a little bit, saying that they are untradeable. So so yeah, so to sum it up, yeah, I'd say go for the cards. If you don't think you can do it, I wouldn't stress over doing it straight away, because you do have the whole week. But those are just some little tips of what I think would be the best ways to get on with it. They're usually how I managed to get through them quite quickly. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like. Let me know in the comment section how you guys are getting on with your weekend league. I'm currently, I think, at the time 6-2, so I'm trying to pace myself a little bit. Just going to try and go for Gold 1 again if I can. I'd love to get Elite, just because although there's not a lot of players in the new team of the season I'd like, that Messi would be a dream to get in the squad. So yeah, let me know how you guys are getting on in Foot Champs this week. If you are brand new on it, be sure to subscribe. Apart from that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.